Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to our trading room summary on Tuesday, the 14th of April 2020. I hope you all had a nice Easter, those of you who were celebrating Easter, folks. Let's get back to it. We've had a continued push on up, but there is a lot of talk out there about a bear market, guys. There's a lot of talk out there about you know, once we start getting back to work, that the companies will realize how much damage has been done, and then we could end up with a situation like that. But for the meantime, obviously, we'll trade that if and when it happens. For the meantime, what I would do is, and we've had a break at the top, I would either wait for it to push up a little bit and give us another correction to go. Of course, if you're already in it, then just stay in it. But wait for a push up, pull back, and then see if we trade it up again. And if anything untoward happens in the meantime, obviously it'll come down impulsively, in which case we don't bother trying to trade it up. The Aussie, a lot of good news coming out from Australia, obviously because the Chinese economy is starting to get going again, and the Aussie is reliant heavily on supplying China with raw materials. So good news coming out of Australia, but yet again we have to wait and see how it goes, guys. Remember, in the past we've often had recoveries that have come back down, not necessarily broke the bottom before starting to move off again. So I'm not suggesting that's going to happen, but I'm just saying be wary. I wouldn't be in this thing for the long term. Take your profits as and when you get them, and then look for another opportunity to get into it. Other than that, put your stop to zero. Keep your fingers crossed that it keeps going up. So for this week, I wouldn't be trying to go long here, guys, but it may well go long. Wait for the next pullback, something that would look like that, for an entry to continue on up. And of course, if it starts doing that, then obviously we'll have a different opinion of where it's going to and what to do about it. The same with the German, the same with the French. They all look the same, guys. So if they're going to continue on up, I wouldn't be getting in here. I'd wait for a pullback to get in. If you're in from down there, fair enough. Put your stop loss to zero and hope that it continues to go up. UK, same thing, guys. There was the place to get in. It's pushed up. You're going to have to wait to get another one of those before getting in. And of course, it may just be a bit of a zigzag before we get a push back down again, before we get a real push off. NASDAQ, you can see, I've been saying the same. It's pushed on up today. May well push on up, folks, but you would have to at least wait for something like that for it to go. And of course, this could happen. S&P, you see, I've said the same thing. Although today, I imagine it's going to push up when it opens, and then we'll see where it gets to. But eventually, this could happen. This was me talking about in the trading room about what possibly could happen, guys. I wasn't saying that's what's going to happen. I didn't get around to deleting those brushes. So obviously Dow Jones look the same. Looking for a bit more push up, and then we'll see does it pull back down again. And we'll trade that as and when it happens. As far as the dollar is concerned, I'm not sure about the dollar at the minute, folks. Obviously, with interest rates down at zero, you would expect it to fall, but at the end of the day, everybody's interest rates are down at zero. So it's a case of which is the stronger, which economy is going to recover the best, etc. I can't see the dollar. Now, if you go back to over here, in fact, back to where it was there, back to here, we were calling the dollar short. We traded it down there, traded a bit more there, and then got caught out as this came up, because from here somewhere I was looking for it to drop again, and it climbed away up, and then we had the big sell off, and then you had the rush to safety. Very, very unpredictable, guys. Maybe we're starting to settle down again with levels in and around where they were. Sorry, this is jumping around a little bit on me here, folks. If we just look at the green line, values in and around where they were before all the nonsense started. So So what I'm kind of saying is I can't see it. You see the X in there, guys? I don't see that happening. That's what we were looking for before all of this happened. I think that's off the cards in the short, medium term, let's call. Remember, 57% of this is made up of the euro. I can't see the euro going long anytime soon, folks. So I'm not going to say to you this is definitely going to do that, and then it's going to do that, and then it's going to do that. But it may well do something like that, guys. We've had a pullback with a correction. Initially, I was thinking it was going to do there. There's, you know, a zigzag. And then from there, we would see if it would push on down, maybe give us an impulse down. But at the moment, with it stalling, and I can't see why the euro would necessarily go long. Although we could get a bit of a push up in the euro before it continues to fall. But I wouldn't be trying to trade this short from here, guys. I'm not going to give you anything on that, but I do not think it's going to break that bottom. I don't think it's going away down here. I think if it comes down here, it'll stall here and it'll start to come back up. And I really do believe that it may well end up doing something like that. It could do it from here, or it could be on a bigger time scale, but I think the dollar will do something like that. Obviously you take that information and you plug it in to what's going on in the majors. As far as oil is concerned, there has been a deal done. We talked a lot last week and the week before about a potential deal. Market hasn't reacted to the deal, guys. Obviously they don't think the deal's enough. They're worried about things getting going again, when they're going to get going again, and that when they do get going again, what capacity, what amount of oil are they going to be burning. There's also the stockpile that we've already got, and although there's now been a cut, 10% isn't enough so far as the market's concerned. I think that's the euro CAD going long there. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So what I've suggested we do is we wait to see, is it going to come right back down to here, and if it gets to there, are we going to get a breakout? If it comes back down to here and starts going long again, then maybe we start to trade the CAD long. I'm not actually trading the oil at the minute, guys. For some reason, the costs for trading it are just astronomical. So I'm not trading it at the moment. But I'm trading oil and maybe the ruble. So if this goes long, obviously CAD and ruble, I think we'll go long with it. But if it continues to drop, then I'm not so sure about the CAD. Although I have been quite bullish on the CAD for the last couple of weeks, I'm now starting to have my doubts about the CAD. Also, tomorrow we have an interest rate decision on CAD, so just be careful. I can't see them cutting it any further. I think they're already down around zero, but they may do a bit of quantitative easing or whatever their equivalent, printing a bit of money, folks. So just be aware of the CAD until at least we see something happen in oil, or we get over this interest rate decision. Other than that, I think the pound will continue to go long, guys, although I think it does need a correction. Let's just go look at the pound dollar. We forecast this really nicely. I chickened out of my trade here, guys, because this corresponded with Boris Johnson going into intensive care, and I thought to myself, I was in a couple of trades in this going up, and I thought to myself, if he ends up passing away, the pound will do something like that, and I just didn't want to end up getting stopped out. So I took a very small loss on that. As it turned out, it was wrong, because I would have hit my target with these. Because my target with this was, it was an impulsive move up, folks. Or my analysis of this was, it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's now coming to an end. It could push up a little bit more, but I think it'll come off there, which is also one of the reasons that I'm kind of thinking, if we look at the euro kind of looks like it wants to do that, guys. That doesn't look very impulsive to me. So the euro looks like it wants to do that. If it does that and the pound comes off as it looks, then you would see this happening on the dollar, folks. Okay, that will do me for today. I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.